Hello, this is Dr. Karen Becker, and this is the second segment about allergies. And today, in this segment, we're going to discuss food allergies. It's important to recognize that, of course, there are only two types of allergies, food and environmental. Some animals have one, and some animals have both. So if your pet has food allergies, you will notice allergic issues year-round, because the food is coming into your animal's body year-round. Therefore, the inflammation created by the allergenic substance is there year-round. Keep in mind that if you have kitties that the allergy symptoms in kitties are really diverse. You can have kitties that intermittently vomit. Inflammatory bowel disease has actually been classified as an allergy in the gut. So you can have GI symptoms, you can have hot spots, you can have kitties' ears that have a lot of debris, you can have oral inflammation, eye discharge. There's all sorts of different symptoms in cats that need to be linked, in theory, to food-based allergies. Dog symptoms are equally as diverse. Food allergy symptoms in dogs can range from GI issues, because of course the allergenic food is being consumed. So you can get vomiting dogs, diarrhea dogs, you can have hot spots, generalized alopecia, which is hair loss, itchiness. Oftentimes animals, after they consume foods, you can see them run their face up against the side of the couch and they become tremendously itchy after consuming the foods, but not always. You can have a low-grade food reaction in dogs and cats that just exhibits itself as animals who have poor hair coats, animals that stink and that are itchy more often than they should be, recurrent anal gland problems, recurrent ear problems. So the symptoms of food-based allergies are really diverse. But here's what I want you to think about. Animals are not born with a no-no food list. Animals are not born already sensitized. The majority of animals are not. But keep in mind that how the body forms an allergy is that to foods is in pets. When we feed our pets the same foods over and over and over and over, the body can become sensitized to the ingredients in your pet's food. Keep in mind that myth, in fact, all of you have heard it, only feed your dog and cat one food. There's some popular slogans for very well-known dog and cat food companies that say never switch your dog's food, or it's a food for life. The only people that want you to feed the same dog and cat food for a decade of your pet's lives are the dog and food manufacturer CEOs, because they know that they will have gotten $4 to $6 grand out of you by the time of your pet's from birth to death on dog food. So of course they're going to tell you to never switch your dog's food. And what I'll tell you is, if you feed your dog and cat a decade of rice and then decide to switch up the food, could you have some GI issues? Much like if you ate rice or oatmeal for a decade and then it went out for Mexican, you could have some GI issues. That doesn't mean the Mexican restaurant was bad. That means that your GI tract wasn't accustomed to consuming different foods. Recognize that in my house, and I'm neurotic about food, but I will not have food allergies in my house. I switch my dogs and cats' protein sources 12 times before I ever recycle the same meal. I feed my dogs like I nourish myself. So you should be able to, as people, eat eggs one morning and turkey the next morning and maybe a piece of whole wheat toast the next morning and not have blowout explosive diarrhea. And your dogs and cats are meant to have a diversified diet coming in. That's how food allergies are avoided. But 95% of cats in the United States are eating seafood, poultry, seafood, poultry, seafood, poultry, seafood, poultry, seafood, poultry, seafood. And what do people say? But that's what my cat likes. Well, of course, we tend to be allergic to things that we like the very most. The average dog in the United States is eating chicken, beef, chicken, beef, chicken, beef, and add into it allergenic sources of carbohydrates, corn, wheat, rice, even the novel grains like barley and oatmeal. Dogs and cats do not have a carbohydrate requirement, so the more grains that are in the food, the more reactive and pro-inflammatory the food becomes. Not to mention the fact that foods like lamb and rice was considered a novel protein or a hypoallergenic protein, but if you overfeed lamb, you can induce a lamb-based allergy. So keep in mind this, the best way to avoid food allergies is to every 3 to 4 months switch your dogs and cats' food. You don't have to switch every night like I am, although if you have puppies, that's something that we're going to talk about, and I would recommend that you consider doing that. As adult dogs, if you have a dog with a sensitive stomach, you may need to take several weeks or even months weaning from one food to the next very slowly as not to incite gastrointestinal upset. But the premise is there is no one food for perfect health. The number one question I get at Natural Pet is, what's your favorite food? What's the brand? Just tell me the brand. And the truth is, guys, you don't go into your health or your grocery store and buy just one brand of food. You pick and choose foods that are nourishing to your body. And it's important to recognize that when you think about nourishing your dogs and cats, diversity is critical to avoid food-based allergies. So the common sense thing to do to keep a whole list of yes foods for your puppies and kittens and no foods is to diversify the diet. If your dogs are allergic or have foods on the no-no list, like no, my dog can't eat rice or corn or wheat or chicken or beef, the key is switch your dog's food onto a protein source that they haven't seen before, and that's very, very important. Other options you can do when it comes to rotating foods is recognizing that the more often you switch, the less food-based allergies that will come about. So if you switch your dog's food and you see a dramatic improvement with allergic responses, I'm thankful and that's excellent, but you should be planning in the next 3 months the next food you're going to rotate so that you can begin to give your dog a break from recurrent allergens coming in the diet. That's it for food allergies. Stay tuned for environmental allergies.